Okay, you can continue now.
I feel like there isn't much I can say because I've just said everything I could with the past games.
Well, you didn't get to Infinite.
Yeah, well, I know, but I'm gonna get to that. I feel
Okay.
like Halo 3.
I'm gonna say one more thing about Halo 2.
Okay.
I really enjoy that the Covenant have those like death squads to clear out the flood.
Oh yeah.
And the missions where you're the Arbiter and you're just clearing out Halo rings of the flood, and they have like specialized equipment for it. I always thought, and they have their suits look different too. They wear those like black suits with the blue cyan lights.
Yeah.
And you're going up and down those elevators. I always thought that those were pretty badass. And you're also like in charge of a Covenant squad. You got the grunts, you got your elites, you got jackals, and they all have gear. And then you even have suicide grunts on your team.
And then another one, and another reason I liked that one the most is because the Arbiter ties in to Halo 1, because that Arbiter was the leader of the invasion of that Halo ring.
Yeah, he was meant to keep the ring safe.
But then the ring gets destroyed, so he gets punished and gets taken off of his title, and then he becomes Arbiter.
Yeah, and so that ring was going to be important because they were going to start to activate, and that's the whole like thing is the Pillar of Autumn. Captain Keyes randomly warps so that hoping that the elite won't follow him into space.
Oh, whoa, that's really cool.
What?
Those plants actually went down when you ran over them.
Oh, that is cool. And so, but when they get into, then when they get around the ring after randomly jumping, the Covenant are already there, and they're like, "How the hell are they already here? How could they have followed us?" And then what transpires is the events of Halo, where you find out that the Covenant are on these rings all over the place, and that ring was of special importance for some reason. I forget why.
Delta ring or something, where it was like some bigger than another.
Well, the Delta rings are huge. There was something about that one to deal with the Guilty Spark, which they all have one of those little robots on them to keep them. What do they call them? They have a name. Like that one's Guilty Spark, but he's something of the ring.
Like 343.
Yeah, 343 Guilty Spark, but there's a job that they have. Librarian, I think. Something like that. They're basically an Omni key around the ring, and they maintain the facility.
Yeah, because in Halo 2, you actually get to go around, and that Guilty Spark guy wants you to help him clear out the ring of the flood.
Yeah, and that's where the things get weird, because he keeps saying you're a Promethean. And what you find out about that is that a long time ago, Prometheans and Homo sapiens were a similar species, or were the same or something, and they got split off, but they're still humans with Promethean DNA. And it turns out that one of the reasons Master Chief is so strong is because he's got Promethean DNA in him, and that's why he's able to navigate the facilities. And the fact that humans end up having Promethean DNA, that's one of the reasons the Covenant don't allow them into the Covenant, the high priests or whatever they are.
How do they know they have Promethean blood?
Because the Covenant can't open any of the doors and the rings, and that pisses them off because they're trying to gain access to it, and they can't activate the rings, and they don't know why. And then when the humans get to the ring, suddenly the Master Chief and other humans can open the facilities up. And the only ones who can open the facilities, you have to have Promethean DNA.
Back to the Covenant and Halo Wars. I know this seems like completely...
Oh yeah, Halo Wars. Shit, we didn't talk about those.
But anyways, that reminds me of Halo Wars because the Covenant, they have like, they're kind of like, they remind me somewhat of the Romans, because
the elites or the Covenant?
The Covenant.
Okay.
Because like a lesser version of Rome, because what Covenant does is that they don't engineer their own technology. Whenever they beat somebody, they just take theirs.
Oh, right.
That's why they have such advanced weapons, but they don't research it themselves. They just take the engineering and research of other civilizations. and then they just apply it to themselves.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
why they can never
Right.
be like fully technologically advanced. Well,
Yeah.
they're super technologically advanced. It's just that they can't advance by themselves.
Well,
and they're like complete super religious and all that.
the priests were actually really advanced,
Yeah.
but then they became hyper religious, and that stopped their technological advance. Very similar to like the Middle East. The Middle East was actually like the most advanced technologically in the world.
But then the church took over and everything became a religion.
Right. Then they became Islamic, and they went into, which there's nothing wrong with Islam or anything. It's just that that's basically what happened. They went into theology instead of science. And that's what happened to the Covenant too.
But back to Halo 3.
Yes.
I felt like the gameplay was good yet again. I feel like I've already said everything to be said about Halo's gameplay.
Okay.
I feel like the story is good. I can't remember exactly what the story was. Wasn't it just about seeing how brutal the warfare was and how large it was?
Halo 3?
Yeah.
Well, Halo 3 is about finishing it.
Oh, that was
You
the...
remember Halo 2 ends with Master Chief on the Ark coming back, and he goes back to Earth to beat the Covenant, and stop the fight. And let me think back how the hell. Oh, and the way that they do that is because there's a civil war going on between the Covenant, and the elites end up joining the human race. Not joining, we're very loosely allied. It's not very friendly, but we basically decide we have a common enemy because the elites break off from the priesthood, and they also, the brutes brutalize them, so they start this huge war, and that opens the door for the chief to kill the remaining high priests, and so he does that. And the flood, how the hell is it? I think we go to the grave mind and we kill the grave mind, and that's that's when because Cortana knows where the grave mind is. That's why she stays with him, right? And that's why he keeps getting those like broken memories during Halo 3. She's still trying to talk to him, and she guides Chief back to the grave mind. And it's cool because you go back to a ship, the truth or whatever, second mission in Halo 2 or the third mission in Halo 1, where they play under cover of night, and you have the sniper rifle, and you're going to rescue Captain Keyes for the first time.
Yeah.
Okay, that ship makes it off of the first Halo ring, and that ship turns out to be where the grave mind is stationed. That's how he got off world, is he took that ship over. And Cortana guides you back to that ship. So it's kind of, the game does a lot of circling back to where it all began. And
explaining how the grave mind made it.
Yeah, what they do is, that's what they do. They're spores. They're like an intergalactic fungus. They consume all matter in the universe, and every time they consume matter, they basically gain more brain power. So that's another thing about Halo 3, is you'll notice that the Flood are actually smarter. When they start in Halo 1, they're just nincompoops. But by the time you get to Halo 3, they have enough biomass now that they're pretty smart. They engage in more advanced tactics. And they just keep getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, because in Halo 1, you don't... They're like a threat, but you don't see, like, any of them that aren't too bad to deal with. But with Halo 2, they start using ranged weapons, and then in Halo 3, they start using like vehicles.
Yeah, they start picking up guns, and they start being a lot more tactical on how they deploy themselves. Like, they jump out of vents, they flank you a lot better. They use those popper things. They'll like use those as suicide units instead of them just randomly running at you. And then, so they kind of tie that into of course, what really happened was the technology improved for the game, so the AI could be better, but they tied it into the lore too.
But
and well, so you go back to the Pillar of Autumn one more time. I remember that too, because in the first Halo, you blow up the Pillar of Autumn, Oh yeah, you blow up the Pillar of Autumn to blow up the ring, so you don't. No, you go to the Covenant ship and you kill the Gravemind. And you have to leave the... I can't remember exactly the final part, but I know you kill the Brute. You have to kill the big High Priest Brute. And you kill the High Priest, and that's... You basically bring the end of the Covenant at that point. And Chief then is back on that ship that he's been using to fly between the damn rings. And that's when he goes into cryo sleep and he says, "Wake me when you need me." And that was supposed to begin the events of Halo Infinite. Speaking of, have you touched the campaign of Halo Infinite?
I have not.
I wish I could remember. I'm going to pull it up, actually. How that all ends. Halo. Oh yeah, you have the run, the Halo run at the end.
What's the Halo run?
The Warhog run. Yeah, the Warhog run. And index to Halo. How the Gravemind sends flood combat forms. Yeah, so this is the killing the Gravemind and the flood upon the Ark.
Well, when does Halo Infinite?
Halo Infinite takes place after the events of Halo 3.
I thought that you killed the Gravemind.
You did, but that doesn't stop the flood. Now the flood's just scattered. But the flood aren't part of Halo 4 or 5. The Prometheans are. The flood's gone. The flood was locked up by the Prometheans. You can't ever get rid of it altogether because, again, it's a spore. But it's a self-fulfilling prophecy is the problem with the flood is that's why they chose to eradicate all life with the rings, because the alternative is the same thing. The flood eventually runs out of food. It runs out of biomass, and so it just ends up consuming itself, and it can't stop eating. It's all that it knows to do.
If it's locked up, how is it eating?
It doesn't eat. They have those little parasite forms that are like glass. Yeah. They just take nothing, and the Prometheans were studying them. They both locked him up on the rings, but they also kept him around to study him. Apocalypse level. So yeah, the final thing is you blowing up the Gravemind, and then he goes to sleep. Good night, Sweepy. Sweepy time.
I remember that scene.
Yeah. And then what's weird about that is Chief is around in Halo 5. So they show the early trailers for Halo Infinite showed Chief waking up and like I can't remember how Halo 5 ends now. I beat it with Tyrell, but I can't remember. I just remember Cortana went crazy. And Locke was basically killed off as a character, and how the hell does that end?
Whoa, look at the size of this gun. Behind you.
Where? Oh, yeah, shit. Oh, we could probably jump into this.
We were just walking around and we see central nervous system.
Dude, this might be important. We're probably skipped ahead somehow. But
what mission is this?
Probably no mission. I've just been running around getting us the safe house. We've been running around getting the safe houses. Let me go back to how this shit ends. All right, keep talking because I'm looking at the.
So finally, at number 4, we got the Halo. I haven't played the campaign.
Okay, why don't you like Halo Infinite?
Me, I don't know why. I just get super infuriated whenever I play the multiplayer on that game. Drock knows that I get mad at it.
Dude, big time. Worse than I've ever seen Tucker ever. The rage is strong, dude.
I don't know why I get mad at it.
Tucker, look, we can totally sneak into this shit. You don't know why you get mad at it?
Yeah, I'm not sure why I get mad at it. It's just...
Right here, this rock.
don't know why I get mad.
We are
But
so not supposed to be here right now.
don't touch these guys. Okay. Don't touch these guys. Did they hop off the walls by themselves?
Nah, I shot them and they woke up. We just Skyrimmed horsed our way in here.
No shoot.
Look at all of them.
I told you, no shoot.
Well, they're gonna attack us regardless.
They're not gonna hop off the walls. if
Look,
we
it's
don't
raising.
shoot them.
It's rising. What is it? It's another gun. The audio's weird down here.
I think it's trying to be echoey.
Holy shit.
It was one of those generators.
Oh, is that what they are?
Yeah.
Dude, that tick is skating around like a madman. Look at that. He's flying. Look at that tick. It's insane. What the hell?
Where'd he go?
He's flying. How did you kill him?
He blew himself up. He's still flying around.
It's a
Yeah.
central nervous system, but there's tons of them.
But anyways, I don't like the multiplayer in that game. People are already getting too sweaty. I feel like there isn't anything you need from Halo Infinite to any other Halo. Very little.
I have heard the campaign's good, and I do want to check it out, but it sounds like they didn't keep expanding the campaign. It sounded like, oh, there's another cave. They were gonna do like a constantly evolving open world game, and I haven't heard that they've done anything to the campaign since. I think they've been working so hard to try to fix the multiplayer or whatever that even looks like at this point.
Yep, we can't be let in.
Okay, so they do bar us. This is very similar to Morrowind. Speaking of the music that came on, this is like the cave for Dagoth.
Out.
That is going to become a great question. Fast travel is what we're going to do. Sucks we're going to lose a lot of... Let's see if we can't use the same rock. That way we don't have to backtrack so hard.
But anyway.
You kind of said what you needed to say, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because you just don't like Halo Infinite, and that's basically what there is to it. And I don't think you've done Gears, so we can't do a Gears tier list.
I've played Gears 4.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did Horde mode.
Yeah, I did Horde mode with you. I
Yeah.
really liked the Horde mode.
You say you really like?
I really liked the Horde mode.
Yeah, Horde mode was amazing in that one.
How'd you find?
I didn't play Gears 5.
How did you get out?
I jumped on the rocks and I Skyrimmed horseyed my way out.
I can't do that.
Yeah, you can. If I can do it, you can do it.
Let's see.
You getting it? Or do you need a field radio?
I got it. I'm doing it. I'm doing
You're
it.
doing it.
I'm not scared of you anymore.
We're heading for this main mission. We need to start clearing out missions like we said we were for XP and progress.
Oh my god. I actually died.
Shit ton of robots out here.
But there was this new indie game that I saw on the Microsoft Store that I put on my wish list a while ago.
Yeah.
People might recognize it. It was called Warbital. I've told Turok about it.
Orbital.
Yeah, Warbital.
Warbital.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I showed Turok the trailer for it. It's a game about, so, you start on a planet, and the planet normally has about 6 spaces on it. And those different spaces are used to build different things. You can build mines, you can build space lasers, guns, swords, big engines.
There's a really cool fort up here. You should get to me.
I'm trying. Alright, I'm trying right now. Okay. I'm 300 meters
shit.
away.
Okay.
But anyways. But I feel I really like this game, and the twist about it is instead of it's part of the title war, that's part of the game. you
Part of the
fight
title
against-
war.
You fight against like up to 4. You fight up against the 3 other players,
Oh, okay.
and each of you have your own planet. Fight in many different ways. Like there's all sorts of Easter eggs you can do. Like you can, if you shoot the sun enough, you can blow it up. Just eradicate everybody.
That's on Xbox?
Yeah.
Oh.
You deal, and by shooting a planet enough, you expose its core, and if the core gets shot, the whole planet blows up.
Dog, right behind you.
What a dog. But instead of just like hoping that you don't get shot, you can build shields to try and prevent that from happening. But
Hunter.
another way to prevent yourself from getting kicked out of the game is by building into colonization pods. So you can build like these colonization shuttles, and you can launch them using orbit patterns. Go to another planet. Like it'll show a trace of what the planets, all the planets.
Ooh, apocalypse level dog.
That's one really unique mechanic about that game is it actually uses orbit paths.
On Warbital?
Yeah.
Is that the game you were playing where they built the different civilizations?
What? No, I haven't played it. It's on my wish list.
Oh. How much is it?
It's $12. But with that, back to the orbit paths. I really like that mechanic because it puts in a more realistic aspect. Oh, there's an apocalypse out here. I got poisoned. But
just finish the fight, then we'll talk about it. There. Oh wait, one more.
There's an apocalypse.
Still out there?
He's hurting.
Or is he? I put a field radio down.
It's crazy how much damage they do.
Don't go down that path. All right, so there is a main quest here. Now continue your butt on the why you like the orbital pass.
I feel like it adds a sense of realism to it because if planets were to have a war like that where they would shoot like these giant objects on one another and blow each other up, I feel like that was what would actually happen because they would use the orbit of planets and the gravity of them to help shift those objects and weapons to attack the enemy planet. That's what you do in Warbital. Like you shoot a missile, but it will show you like a path before you fire on where that missile will go, like the course that it will take.
Uh-huh. You have to
you have to try and adjust it to where it will hit your enemy.
Uh-huh. So it tries to be like really realistic.
That part's realistic. There are some things that aren't really realistic, like
Blowing up the sun.
What?
Like blowing up the sun if you shoot it enough.
That would not make any sort of sense. But
Dude, this is a really crazy area. What the hell's... Oh, hey, look. Fire down on this thing.
oh, hello. Another thing that wouldn't make sense is there's a weapon in that game. It's like this huge sword.
Uh-huh.
It's like this huge beam of light that you can fire, and then you can like swing it around. It's like a huge sword you can use for close quarters when planets are orbiting one another.
Shit. Put a field radio down. Please.
Okay.
Oh, that sounded scary. Dude, that was
You
insane.
fully weren't expecting that mortar shot. It was perfect.
Especially not to blow me clear across the damn map like that.
You got shot right off that platform.